Well, well, well. This is going to be one of the bigger Montreal Canadiens narratives heading into this Stanley Cup playoff run. Because when it comes to right-handed defenseman Noah Dobson, the prize that Montreal acquired last year at the draft for back-to-back first-round picks and Emil Heineman, this is a guy whose presence on the team has been very well documented. Yes, you can say, hey, wait a minute. Noah Dobson only scored 1 point in his last however many games it was for the Montreal Canadiens. But look at the minutes, man. This guy was getting 23, 24, 22 minutes a night. Make no mistake about it, people. Noah Dobson is one of the most important Montreal Canadiens defensemen. And to see him get hurt in the way that he did, where he ended up blocking a shot with his thumb against the Columbus Blue Jackets about a week ago, obviously, the fact that he left that game and was announced with an upper body injury afterwards, it's not a good sign. For what it's worth, this is what Dr. Harjas Gruwal said on Twitter. It seems the puck may have avoided some of the padding on the glove, and so the concern is a broken bone for Dobson. Broken bones in the hand have a wide range of outcomes. I've had players finish games with broken bones and no specific treatment, to feeling fine but needing surgery. So, yeah, there are a number of small, tiny bones and joints and places where bones meet, etc., in your hands. There are a lot of intricate engineering feats that have been put into our fingers and our hands, so I'm not really surprised to see this personally, some players finish the game with broken bones and they don't really need treatment, but others need surgery, even though they actually feel okay. Who really knows what's going to happen here with Noah Dobson, but long story short, this is what ended up happening to him. He blocked the shot right off of his hand. The Montreal Canadiens tweeted earlier on April 12th, so 5 days ago, that Dobson sustained an upper body injury and will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from April 12th is around April 26th. So, about 9 days from now. Here's the thing, though. You take a look at the Canadiens and the Lightning, their game-by-game schedule in this 2026 opening round. Game 1 is April 19th, so on Sunday. Game 2 is April 21st. Game 3 is April 24th, and then Game 4 is April 26th. So, essentially, from the Montreal Canadiens' self-proclaimed timeline, Noah Dobson is going to be re-evaluated roughly around the time Game 4 goes on. So, what this means is Dobson is guaranteed to missing Games 1, 2, and 3 for the Montreal Canadiens, and if he returns at Game 4, he'll be there just to see the team play at the Bell Center. We'll see what happens on Game 5, Game 6, Game 7 if necessary. But with this idea in mind, there now is a bigger narrative that I've started to see pop up on social media that questions whether or not the Canadiens are going to survive this. Take a look at what Pierre-Luc Bobrov went out there and tweeted out. The Habs paid a big price at the draft to acquire Noah Dobson. They needed a number 1 right-handed D, badly. He was stellar all season, eating minutes against the opponent's top lines every single night, and he produces offensively. He is the most valuable defenseman the Canadiens have alongside of Lane Hutson. This injury is a disaster. Top reply says, no, it's not. Relax. Chill. Right. Losing a number 1 D 1 week before the playoffs is totally not a big deal. Another reply says, the Canadiens are vulnerable on the right, but Tampa has injuries too. Gotta hope Reinbacher can step up. It's a baptism of fire. We will see what the kid is made of. So, Obviously, while it's fair to say that David Reinbacher, as good as he has been so far, has actually exceeded expectations compared to what a lot of us thought he'd be capable of doing at the NHL level so far, the fact is, you're gonna have to try and get this guy to replace the minutes of Noah Dobson if you just do a one-for-one swap. Now, this is obviously going to be more of a next man up kind of thing. You're not gonna say, all right, all of Dobson's minutes, that's going to David Reinbacher now. Obviously, that's not how it's going to go. You are going to see more minutes distributed with other guys. Caden Gooley is gonna be with Matheson, so that seems to be that number one pair. Alexandre Carrier could be making his return to this pairing with Lane Hudson, and then you're going to have Xhekaj and Struble there at the bottom. I will say, Jaden Struble, I mean, your career with Montreal potentially could be on thin ice if David Reinbacher continues to showcase some very good production and offensive-leaning instincts alongside of Arber Xhekaj. Xhekaj seems to play a lot better than he does with Struble when he's lined up with David Reinbacher as well, too. So there are a number of conversations you can have about which pairings are more appropriate with which names, but at the end of the day, David Reinbacher is one of those extra guys that might have to fill in some minutes here as Noah Dobson departs this Canadiens lineup. We did mention Tampa Bay. Victor Hedman may have already played his last NHL game ever, depending on what his development and his health recovery situation looks like. That's a huge miss for Tampa Bay. Obviously, they're going to really lean on the defensive capabilities of Hedman whenever he is in the lineup. Darren Radish, on the Tampa Bay side of things, has been very good offensively, but then again, Darren Radish is no Victor Hedman. So taking a look at some of the injuries that Tampa Bay has on their side as well, Daou's a top pairing guy, as is Radish, and then you have Liljeberg, Carlisle, Crozier, and Steven Santini all rotating around here at the bottom of the lineup. It's not ideal. And while Victor Hedman is one of the best defensemen in the NHL when he is healthy, the Lightning have gone a very long time without him this season, so I do think maybe they're already used to the idea of being able to play around his absence and not relying too much on the idea of what he brings. Montreal, I think, the fact that Noah Dobson got injured so late into the year, it's going to cause a little bit of a ruckus, but then again, a lot of these guys have had their fair share of NHL development time already, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. Who really knows? Going back over to the tweet here, let's finish off this video with some of the thoughts in the comments. Ever heard of Next Man Up? That's how character and champions are built. No excuses. Reinbacher gets his audition with the big team, his play will surprise many, and he won't be going back to Laval. He has been a big contributor, but let's see how things play out before shoveling dirt on the Habs. I'm not shoveling dirt, but I don't want to minimize the impact a player like Dobson had. It's going to have to be a committee to replace him. I still believe in this team. And then we have this other reply. Will David Reinbacher become the PK Subban of 2026? All right, if the guy ends up scoring an immediate goal after nailing Brad Marchand and escaping the penalty box and coming out on an electric breakaway, then I'll say that David Reinbacher is the next PK Subban. I don't think anybody's really going out there and thinking that, but we'll see. With that in mind, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the absence of Noah Dobson, and is it as much of a disaster as Pierre-Luc Bobbrov is saying on Twitter that it is? Thoughts in the comment section. What do you think the absence of Dobson looks like for the Montreal Canadiens, and how do you think they recover from this? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.